Tiffany, take it away.
Hey everyone, it's Kayla Butler, your favorite real estate agent, and today I have with me
Attorney Amber Daniels, owner of the law office of Amber Daniels.
Yes, we are excited to have Amber back. And the reason why is when Amber first came, we were getting you guys prepared on now that you're homeowners, there's certain things that you need to take in consideration and put some urgency on it now that you own a home. We discussed having a will. And now today, I want to go into something a little different from a will, which is a trust. It's about the same. But Amber's going to explain to you the purpose of having that trust and all of the stuff that go with it.
All right. Let me take it away. So one question that I get a lot is, well, Amber, what is a trust, right?
Yes.
So a trust is simply a legal document, and it's similar to a will, but it's more of an agreement that allows you to say what you want to happen to your property should you pass away. The same thing a will does. A will simply says, hey, this is what I own, A, B, C, D, and I want my property to go to this person, or that person, right? Simple. The difference between a will and a trust is that the will, you will certainly have to go through probate. Well, your family will, at least, right? But with a trust, that agreement that states what you want to happen to your property, you actually avoid, or your family will avoid the probate process. So that's the major difference. And then one of the other things that make the trust a little bit different is that you can put parameters around your giving to people. So within a will, you know, all you get to do is name the beneficiaries. In a trust, you can name the beneficiaries, but then put some guardrails around that giving. So if you want them to be 25 years old, if you want them to go to college first, those are the kind of things that a will can accomplish, a trust can accomplish that a will cannot.
So the trust would actually own the properties.
So let me back up. So one, we talked about what a trust is, right? It's simply an agreement that allows you to distribute your property that in the way that you want to, right? So the next question is, okay, well, conceptually, how does this agreement, this piece of paper, own property? So that's called trust funding, okay? Right now, most homeowners, when they purchase a house, right, you own it in your name as an individual. But in order for the trust to own that property, you'd have to fund it by retitling the home or bank accounts or whatever asset that you have into the name of the trust. So for your first home or any home really, you would have to do a new deed.
Nice. Okay.
So that's how you would fund the trust. In other words, transfer property into the trust. With real property, it would be by deed. With businesses, it would be by an assignment. With life insurance policies, bank accounts, those sort of assets that are controlled by contracts, beneficiary designations, you would name the trust as the beneficiary. That is how you would fund that trust.
Nice. Okay. So we're going to first decide if we want to do a will or a trust. And if we're doing the trust, we got to figure out about redeeding it into the trust name and then also funding that said trust.
So, yes.
Okay.
So deeding the property into the trust is a part of funding the trust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, of course, there's more that Amber can't do in this video. And this is why y'all are going to reach out to her and have that conversation. But we just want to bring some awareness in this video about why a trust might be good for you.
Absolutely. And I think that, so I offer my estate planning services. Well, I offer trust under my estate planning services part of my practice. And so what people really need to start thinking about are your goals for your family if you're no longer here. And that will determine whether or not will-based planning is right for you or trust-based planning is right for you. A lot of people that come to me, they want to avoid probate. Well, they want their families, to avoid probate. I don't want my children, I don't want my husband to have to go through the probate process. Because I don't know if you've ever been through the probate process, Kayla. I'm sure you have, right, Kayla?
And it takes about a year.
Listen, in the way that everyone's understaffed, the government is not exempt from that. And depending on how large your estate is, it could take more than a year. It could be 18 months. You just never know. And that is a grueling process. And if we can talk frank, Kayla, my dad has done it twice now. So he's done it for his brother, and he's done it for his mom. And I recently just did their estate planning over the weekend. But he told me going through probate is hell.
It definitely is.
Isn't that a good way to put it, Kayla? Going through probate is hell, y'all. And so, on top of grieving the loss of your loved one, on top of having to go to work, provide for your family, just the day-to-day obligations that we all have, you got to go down to the probate court.
And who wants to do that? Who even wants to rehash the fact that the parent or the loved one is no longer here?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, and especially if you do it on your own. And a lot of us are doing it on our own because, one, we maybe can't afford to pay an attorney. But if you can, that's an additional cost that your family would have to bear when you're no longer here. Whereas if you did the planning beforehand with an estate planning attorney like myself, you can help your family avoid that hell.
Yes.
You can help them avoid that with a living trust. So that's what I'm here to help people do. So if your goal is to have your family avoid probate, then a trust is for you. If you say, I think my family will be okay going through probate, I don't care.
Which a lot of people do.
Yeah, which is fine. I'm not here to sway you either way, but I am here to tell people the pros and cons of it. And also another major benefit of a living trust is that it's private. So I don't think many people know, Caleb, that a probate is public. Anybody can walk down to the probate court here in Berkeley County, any county you choose, and ask to see the decedents, that's the person that passed away, probate file. So if you're leaving things to your children, like property, and it has to go through probate, Johnny Manipulator can go down to the probate court and say, I sure like the way Kayla looked. Let me see what her mama and daddy left her. And now they meet randomly at some bar, and now he's taken with you. And you don't know this man has been plotting on you the whole time. Now, let me tell you something. This is, it sounds far-fetched, Kayla, but it's a reality that comes with having your family go through probate for those assets. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys, I think that you should schedule an appointment with Amber Daniels. And she also does classes or Zooms, webinars for you to learn about the trust, about the will, about estate planning as a whole. And when we are owning assets, we need to make sure that we take care of those things and we set up the proper parameters, because we're not going to be here all the time. At some point you're going. Like I like to say, you going to glory.
Yes, ma'am.
We're all
Yes,
going. So make it easier on your loved ones and leave a plan.
And thank you, Kayla, for mentioning my webinars. So I don't have a set schedule for them yet, so y'all will have to follow me on my social medias. Law Office of Amber Daniels, I post the webinar dates there, and I also post it on my personal Facebook page, Amber Daniels, and it'll also be posted on my Instagram, attorney.amberd. And in those webinars, they're free. I really delve into, and I have more time than what we have here, to really sit down and explain to the guests, the attendees, why estate planning is important, the difference between a will and a trust, and why the trust is so important, and why just having a plan in place is important, period. So we also get into having your healthcare power of attorney. We get into your durable power of attorney, your living will, your HIPAA authorizations. We get into all of that in the webinar and why it's important for your family.
Yes. So when you're a homeowner, you need to think all the way up into the
long
future,
term,
not just right now. It's exciting when we get those keys. It's exciting when we take in the picture holding that sign, but we need to think of all aspects of what will happen in the future.
That's right.
And this is the purpose of this video. I hope you guys found this very helpful, and I want you to reach out to Amber and get started with your estate planning today.
That's right.
All right. Bye, guys.
That was good.
Yeah, I think so.
That was real conversational. That was good.
Did it stop?